So he says Tadlees is two different categories, yeah? He say, first, to narrate from someone that he has met, something that he has not heard from him. So he meets someone, he has narration from him, but he never heard it, the specific hadith he has never heard it from him. We call that Tadlees. So it is a condition for to be called Tadlees that the person has met the other person. You understand this part?
Yeah.
Okay. He said, or to narrate from someone that there is a possibility that he could have met him. They were in the same time, but he never met him. It shows like if he has heard, he will narrate it in a way that will make people think that maybe he met him. Because some call it irsal, some call it Tadlees. You understand?
Yeah.
The first category, definitely, his hadith should not be accepted until he say حدثنا. The second one, there is a different opinion regarding that.
Sure, I didn't understand the difference.
One is to narrate from someone that you have already met, something that you have not heard from him. Do you narrate it from him directly, as if it looks like you heard it from him, and you have already met him, and like people know that you met him, so people will suggest that people will assume that you heard this hadith from him. The second is that you narrate from someone that you never met at all, but you were living in the same time. So narrate from him what you have not heard from him. This is also some people call it Tadlees, because the possibility of meeting each other is there. Understand?
What did you say the other word was they used for it?
Irsal.
Irsal. Sada.
Irsal.
Irsal.
Like mursal.
Okay.
So that is people differ whether to accept the hadith, but there is difference about Mudalis as well. Tadlees and Irsal. Some people call both of them Tadlees. But the first category, definitely you should not accept their hadith until they say حدثنا. The second one, that is different matter. It's you have to look at the person really, how he does it. Because we don't call Tadlees for someone who narrates from someone. It's not possible that he could have met him. You see, if I say now, the Prophet have said, what kind of Tadlees is this?
That's broken.
Yeah, so it's not called Tadlees, because everybody understand that I have never met him and I'm just, you understand?
Yeah.
So that is not kind of Tadlees. I'm not trying to cheat or deceive or. But if I narrate from someone, a muhaddith narrates from someone that he has met, that is a kind of deception. Now, he will give an example about the first type of irsal. He say from that is the saying of Ibn Khashram. Ibn Khashram said, Ibn Uyayna said, they narrated the hadith from Zuhri. Ibn Uyayna said, Zuhri said so and so. So Ali ibn Khashram and the people who were listening said, did you hear it from him directly? He said, no, I heard it from Abd al-Razzaq from Ma'mar. So he said, this is what people call Tadlees. He says, a group of ulama disliked this kind of Tadlees, and they also criticized the people who does it. He said, and one of the people who severely disagreed with or rejected this kind of Tadlees is Shu'bah ibn al-Hajjaj. It has been stated from him that he said, committing adultery or fornication is better than doing Tadlees. Ibn Salah said, this is just like exaggeration, he doesn't mean it like literally. Shafi'i said, Tadlees is the brother of lie. That is not Shafi'i saying, but it's Shafi'i saying that Shu'bah also said this. It's not Shafi'i who said it in his, like, he wrote it in his book, but he said that Shu'bah used to say, Tadlees is the brother of. He said amongst the Huffaz who considered someone who does Tadlees untrustworthy. So amongst this Huffaz who considered Mudalis to be untrustworthy, rejected his hadith totally. In Usul Ahkam for Ibn Hazm, he is one of these people. He say Mudalis is untrustworthy, you can't take his hadith at all, whether he did Tadlees or not. Once it has been proven that he has done Tadlees, you reject his hadith. A rule that he has made, but he never applied it. We come across books, in Muhalla, we come across hadith that there is Tadlees. He will say this hadith is Tadlees, we don't accept it from this person, because he never said حدثنا. But when he say حدثنا, he will take it from him. So that is a rule that he has said, but he never. He said, even if this person never done Tadlees except once in his life, they still consider him to be Mudalis, and his hadith should be rejected altogether. Shafi'i said that some people say this. Ibn Hazm is one of them as a rule, but he never.
Even if they say حدثنا.
Yeah, Shafi'i said, not Shafi'i himself. He said that some people that he knows don't accept this hadith at all. Ibn Salah said the Sahih is to detail this matter. He said, so we accept when he say حدثنا, we don't accept when he doesn't say حدثنا. This is the opinion that Shafi'i chooses as well, and this is the correct opinion, because Tadlees, person does Tadlees because he doesn't like to lie and doesn't want to lie, and if he knew that it was haram, he wouldn't have done it. Or there is a difference between Tadlees and haram and lie. And someone who does haram will die with every haram. So because they thought that Tadlees is not haram, they did it. And the truth is, Tadlees might be haram for someone who knows that's haram. I mean, you come to someone and deceive him. You come to someone, in any way you take it. If this hadith is that you are taking it from a da'if person, and you take the da'if from the isnad to deceive the person, to make him think that this hadith is sahih, then it's haram. This is religion, you understand? And you shouldn't do that. If, like some people do it, they just want to show that they have met certain shuyukh. You see, some people, for example, they never started seeking knowledge when they were young. So some people of knowledge died before they could have heard from them anything. So they had to hear from their students. So withdrawing the student from the isnad will make that this person will look like he heard from this man directly. That is irsal. But also he might have heard from him, but he didn't stay with him for a long time, and he wants to show that he was with him for a long time, so he narrates from him a lot, or he do it in a way that to show that he has many shuyukh and stuff. All this, even though it makes him no fasiq, because we don't know if he understands what he is doing. A person will not be fasiq until he knows that what he is doing is haram. Sometimes you can't just think when something is not that clear haram, then you can't just accuse someone you can't accuse someone of being fasiq just because he has done something haram. You have to first know that he knew that it is haram, isn't it? So if a person does this kind of Tadlees, this is haram. Why it's haram? Because There is ayah in the Quran says لا تحسبن الذين يفرحون بما أتوا ويحبون أن يحمدوا بما لم يفعلوا. Don't think that those who are happy with what they have given and they like to be praised with the things that they have not done. So this person has not sought knowledge in his when he was young, but he would like to people praise him for being studying so young. Person who does this, Allah says فَلَا تَحْسَبَنَّهُمْ بِمَفَازَةٍ مِنَ الْعَذَابِ. Don't think that they will be safe from punishment. So this person is definitely a fasiq if he knew what he was doing. And also the Prophet says al-mutashabbi'u bima lam yu'ta, the one who showed that he has something which has not been given. Allah did not give him that thing, but he would like to show that he owns something that he doesn't own it, or he has something that what he hasn't. He has knowledge when he has not. He has memorized Quran when he has not. Someone who like people to think about him that he has, or he show it to people. He showed to people that he has something which he doesn't. That kalabisi thawbay zur is like the one who is wearing two fake garments. So that is haram. So he says in the Sahihain there is hadith of a group of this category. What he mean Mudalisin, such as Abu Ishaq Sabi'i, Ibn Jurayj, A'mash, Sufyan Thawri. He says كالسفيانين, such as Sufyan and Sufyan Thawri and Sufyan ibn Uyayna, والأعمش and Qatada and Hushaym and غيرهم وغيرهم and others. So these people has been the Sufyan Thawri, Sufyan ibn Uyayna. This is the proof that he has been doing Tadlees. We don't have any other proof except for this, so that I have mentioned here, that he has been doing Tadlees. As for Sufyan Thawri, the places where he was caught doing Tadlees are, you can't just, so many times he was caught doing Tadlees, so he is one of the biggest Mudalisin. Qatada is the same thing. Qatada and A'mash and Abu Ishaq Sabi'i, three people who would do Tadlees regularly. He didn't mention Abu Ishaq here, but he mentioned A'mash and Qatada. So these two people are as well are of the worst Mudalisin. However, if one person narrates from them, we don't care. Shu'bah. If Shu'bah says from Qatada, from Anas, we don't care. If Shu'bah says from A'mash, from Ibrahim, or we don't care. From Abu Ishaq as well. Why? Because he said you don't have to worry. He told his student, you don't have to worry about Tadlees of these three people. I will not take from them except something that I am sure they have heard it. He said I would watch them. If they don't say حدثنا, I will not take it. So if we find hadith Shu'bah from these three people, and then we don't say these people, they don't say حدثنا or I heard, because you see sometimes people change these words from حدثنا to an, or so even if we don't find it, we still take it as to be connected, to be, if Shu'bah says from Qatada from Anas, if someone else says from Qatada from Anas, from an Anas, we say this is Tadlees, we don't know Qatada heard it or not. But if Shu'bah does it, then it's fine. Because he said
Qatada, Abu Ishaq
and A'mash.
Sufyan.
No, Sufyan is not. Sufyan and Shu'bah are equal. They don't, rarely they narrate from each other. They are from same category. It's not student of each other. Okay? So Shu'bah from these people. Now people, just because Shu'bah said this, some people now every time they show Shu'bah writing from someone, any Mudalis, they will take it. That is wrong. Because he said about these three people, he didn't say that I take from every Mudalis. I am careful with every Mudalis. He said about these three people, so it has to stop with these three people. Also, there is one hadith that Shu'bah should not be accepted from Shu'bah. That hadith is from Qatada, from Anas, the hadith about Taswiyat al-Sufuf, straightening the rows. Qatada said, I never asked Qatada about this hadith. You understand? He said, never asked Qatada whether he heard this hadith or not from Anas. But this hadith is sahih from other narrations anyway. And Hushaym bin Bashir. Now Tadlees is many different categories. And I will explain about Tadlees of Hushaym after I finish this paragraph. Hushaym bin Bashir also is a Mudalis, but he is a bad Mudalis. Now, Ibn Kathir says, وغاية التدليس أنه نوع من الإرسال لما ثبت عنده. He said Tadlees is just a kind of irsal. It's like any hadith mursal. For something that has been proven to the person. Like Sufyan al-Thawri has come to conclusion that this hadith is sahih. And he will not mention the name of the person who told him. He said, وَهُوَ يَخْشَى أَنْ يُصَرِّحَ بِشَيْخِهِ. He said he is afraid of mentioning the name of his sheikh, so the hadith will be rejected. But how does he know that this hadith is sahih? Because feelings, you understand? He feels this hadith is sahih. It looks like this hadith is sahih. We don't care about his feeling. He's trying to defend them and to say so. Now, Sufyan al-Thawri, for example, he knows, he narrates hadith from Abu Hanifa. Now, Abu Hanifa, people will hear Abu Hanifa, they will reject hadith straight away. So he heard from Abu Hanifa, from Abi Razin, from Ibn Abbas, that he said, Ibn Abbas' opinion, not the Prophet, that Murtadda, a woman who has apostated, should not be killed. That is the madhab of the Ahnaf, that she should be taken as a slave, enslaved. Yeah. So, instead of being killed, the hadith general is that a woman should be killed in this case. Not woman, a man or woman. مَنْ بَدَّلَ دِينَهُ فَاقْتُلُوهُ. It has nothing to do with fighting the kuffar and taking. So, the Ahnaf, they say, no, should not be killed for this hadith. The narration of Abu Hanifa. Now, Sufyan al-Thawri, his feelings, or whatever, he come to the conclusion that this is the right opinion. I mean, even when you look at it, you can't say, okay, don't whoever change his religion, kill him. That is general. And then say, okay, except for a woman, because we have exceptions. Sometimes women are not killed. You understand? Mm-hmm. So he can come to that conclusion based on his fiqh, his ijtihad, like putting this hadith with this ayah together. But that is, of course, that is wrong. But now that he comes to that conclusion, he will take the hadith which is da'if from Abu Hanifa, and then he will try to do Tadlees. So he say Abu Razin from Ibn Abbas to straighten his opinion. When he was asked, did you hear it yourself? He said, no, I heard it from Abu Hanifa. He's not a liar, he is Mudalis. You understand? But he is now, so this is what Ibn Kathir says. He said Tadlees is just a kind of irsal, someone narrating from someone, whether he met him or didn't meet him. So it's broken. Irsal means broken, munqati'. He said because he is hiding someone in the middle. He is afraid of this person, the hadith being rejected, because of the sheikh. If he mentioned the name of the sheikh, this example that I gave fits this what Ibn Kathir have said. But this is not the only reason people do Tadlees.
Because he likes the hadith?
Yeah, he likes the hadith, and he is, if he says who narrated it, people will reject it. You understand? But this is not the only reason. He limited all the Tadlees for one reason. You understand? Tadlees is a hobby to some people. Sometimes, as I told you, because of a feel of shame that I am narrating from someone. Now there is Ibn Mubarak said, I told Ibn Sufyan al-Thawri a hadith. I left him. He was there. He told him the hadith. He left. So Sufyan al-Thawri, people will come group after group to listen to hadith. He said, when I came back, I found him doing Tadlees. So he just withdraw. Like instead of saying Ibn Mubarak told me from so and so, he just withdraw Ibn Mubarak and said straight away the Shaykh of Ibn Mubarak, when he never heard it from him. So when he saw Abdullah Mubarak, he told him, sorry, I will mention your name. Understand? So why will he reject Ibn Mubarak? Does he fit here what Ibn Kathir says, that he is afraid that people will reject it? People will not reject any hadith. There is no one who reject hadith because from Ibn Mubarak. He is trustworthy anonymously.
I know you mentioned an example before of someone, Mudalis, being asked why he done Tadlees, but is there many examples of this? Is there many examples of the Mudalisin giving the reasons why they do Tadlees?
No, there is not many examples.
Because you're stating the reasons.
There is many different opinions. Okay. We say sometimes because they would like to show they have heard from different people, and I told you the reason. For example, what Sufyan Thawri, why he does Tadlees. Also, there is Tadlees. For example, Hushaym used to do Tadlees. I will mention later. He does it like for fun, just to show people that he is clever and he can play with them. Al-Walid ibn Muslim, he does Tadlees for a different reason. Walid ibn Muslim, he does a different kind of Tadlees. I will talk about it later, after this, and then I will say why. So he says القسم الثاني من التدليس, the second category of Tadlees. So we are still talking about the first category. We are not talking about irsal. We said Tadlees, can be irsal. To narrate from someone that you have never met, but he was living in the same area. That is what we are not talking about. We are talking about narrating from someone that you have already met at least one time, but that hadith you have never heard it from him. Now this, he said that his first category is that he said he will just take away the sheikh, like withdraw the sheikh from the isnad, his own sheikh. So he doesn't give really here a lot of Tadlees. Has many different categories. He mentioned that is first Tadlees, what they call it Tadlees al-Isnad. So that is the,
he takes away his sheikh.
Where he just drop from the Isnad his sheikh. Sufyan Thawri hearing hadith from Abu Hanifa, from Abi Razin, he will say from Abi Razin.
Abu Hanifa was not trustworthy.
Doesn't matter why. Anyway, he withdraw his sheikh. This is called Tadlees al-Isnad. Whether because he doesn't want to mention him, whether he was ashamed of narrating from him, whether he want to show that he heard from the sheikh of Abu Hanifa, it doesn't matter. All of this kind of Tadlees is called Tadlees al-Isnad. He said the second qism of Tadlees, the second group of Tadlees, is the Tadlees of giving the sheikh a name or a kunya, which is not
Him.
No, he's not famous with it.
Okay, so people don't know it's him still.
So deceiving, just
so the person will think
it might be, but it can also be somebody else.
Yes, Sufyan Thawri does this. He's not known to be doing this, but Yahya ibn Sa'id Qattan, he said Sufyan Thawri mentioned hadith and he mentioned the name of the person. I just forgot now the name. So he said حدثني أبو فلان, some like this, Abu. So Yahya ibn Sa'id Qattan told him, is he so and so, someone who is famous with his name? He said, nobody can hide anything from you, like, you understand? So he said someone who will mention the name, so he will hide this person, so people will not know who is this person. Sometimes it's not only that, sometimes it's to show, I have narrated from many. He will narrate hadith from, for example, someone, just example, if I say so, حدثني أبو حنيفة, and then the other time you say حدثنا النعمان بن ثابت, and another time you say حدثنا بن زوطي. It's all it's him, Abu Hanifa, or Nu'man bin Thabit, or Ibn Zuti, because his grandfather is called Zuti, you understand? So it's all the same person. But when you hear like this, people will say, oh look, he narrates like one hadith, he heard it from so many shuyukh. So he is like, oh mashallah, he has so many. So he said, and to make it difficult for people to get to the person, to know the person, he said this is different with a different maqasid, like depends on your intention, what you want to do. He says sometimes it's makruh, such as when the person is younger than him. So the person is younger than him, he doesn't want to mention his name, because he, like, people will say, look, he is like Sufyan al-Thawri narrating from Abdullah Mubarak, you understand? It should be the other way around. So he said, if it's like that, yeah. So sometimes he said it is makruh if it's like for this reason. He doesn't want to narrate from him because he is younger. He said, or maybe because the nazil, the isnad is nazil, like he doesn't want to make the isnad so long. See, the muhaddithin dislike a long isnad. A long isnad, a short isnad is better than a long isnad anyway. As long as the short and the long one are all trustworthy and connected. You understand? Because people do forget. And one person, you see, the more people you have in the isnad, the more probabilities that people have forgotten. You understand? So, he said sometimes is haram. If the hadith is taken from someone who is untrustworthy, but he has done Tadlees, so the person is not known. That is not true. It's just like at the beginning when we said he might drop the person because he is afraid that people will reject the hadith. You understand? Because the person is untrustworthy. You understand? But probably he believes that the hadith is sahih anyway. You understand? He come to conclusion that the hadith is sahih, whether following his desire or whatever, with his feelings or, but still, even following his feelings in this, you can't say, oh, he's wrong, he's doing haram. Well, he should be explained that following feelings in the religion is wrong first. So this is the second kind of the Tadlees, which is called Tadlees. This is Tadlees al-Asma'. They call it Tadlees al-Asma'. Some people call it Tadlees shuyukh. Now, he will mention here, he said Abu Bakr bin Mujahid al-Muqri' from Abu Bakr bin Abi Dawud said حدثنا عبد الله بن أبي عبد الله, and from Abu Bakr Muhammad bin Hassan Naqash al-Mufassir, he said حدثنا Muhammad bin Sanad. So he called him to his grandfather. Okay? So his name is Muhammad bin Hassan bin Muhammad bin Sanad. But what he did, he said حدثنا Muhammad bin Sanad. He was weak. Mufassir. So he didn't want to give his name. People will reject his hadith. So he said حدثنا Muhammad bin Sanad. So he called him to his grandfather. He's not lying. Because the Prophet said أنا بن عبد المطلب, I am the son of Ibn Abdul Muttalib. So if you say Muhammad bin Abdul Muttalib, you are not lying. If someone says I am son of Adam, Allah says Ya Bani Adam. So it's not haram really. You are not lying. But what he is doing Tadlees. The reason why he is doing Tadlees will make it haram or not. Depends on why he is mentioning the person calling. So if he want to cheat, to deceive people, that will make it haram. If his intention is different, then, and you should not go to someone who is known to be trustworthy, such as Sufyan al-Thawri, and say, oh, he is known already to people that there is nothing wrong with him. So if you see something like this where there is probabilities, maybe he is doing it for bad reason, maybe he is doing it for the right reason, so you shouldn't just go and to say no, I take it as he is doing it for the bad reason. One of the most famous people of doing Tadlees al-Asma' Tadlees Shuyukh is Marwan ibn Muawiyah al-Fazari. He is like the top on this category. Who does the Bukhari has been accused of doing the same thing in his Sahih. He had a fight, but someone called Ibn Manda said this. Ibn Manda said Bukhari does Tadlees in his Sahih. You see Muhammad bin Yahya al-Dhuhli, Bukhari had a fight with him at the last of his times, so they were not getting along, and he had some hadith from him, so they say that he he felt bad to narrate from someone that who consider him to be mubtadi'. Like this Muhammad bin Yahya al-Dhuhli had a big fight, and he told people that Bukhari is mubtadi', and he threw him out of the exile. He sent him, he caused him to go into exile. You understand?
Is that because the Quran makhluq?
My narration is makhluq.
Yeah.
Now Bukhari, they say, when say حدثنا Muhammad bin Abdullah in Bukhari, they say this is Muhammad bin Yahya. Muhammad bin Yahya bin Abdullah al-Dhuhli. So he say he dropped his father, and now people are not sure about this. It can't be proven 100%. And even if it has been proven, then if someone has done something and you can limit it, like if someone has done Tadlees and we know he had a good reason to do Tadlees for a specific matter, you understand? Then we have to stop there, not say, oh, just because he has done it here. Like someone who you don't know when he does Tadlees, when he doesn't. Hasan al-Basri, Qatada, you understand? They just do it like that. Then they are Mudalisin. But someone who has done Tadlees for a reason, such as if Bukhari has done Tadlees here, because he has a fight with this person, and he has already written his hadith, and he doesn't have this hadith from somewhere else, and he didn't want to write his name. So it has to stop here. Such as Abu Zubair from Jabir. Abu Zubair from Jabir is a Mudalis, big Mudalis. Big Mudalis meaning that he has a lot of hadith from Jabir. Al-Layth ibn Sa'd says that I went to Abu Zubair, took his books of hadith from Jabir. So he said he gave me some books. He said, narrate this from me from Jabir. He said, I took it. Then I thought about it. I went to him and said, you heard all of this? He said, no. Some of them I heard them myself, some of them not. So he said, I asked him, show me the hadith that you have heard yourself. So he said he put mark to them. These are the hadith that I have now. So if Abu Zubair, sometimes someone narrates from Abu Zubair and from Jabir without حدثنا, you should not take it. There are a few hadith, about 12 of them in Muslim. You can't verify that he heard them. But if there is a Layth ibn Sa'd from Abu Zubair, then we don't care.
Because he knew.
Because he said, I took only the hadith that where he said that he heard, that where he put the mark. But now, this is how he gave him a book about Jabir. But does it mean now that it was the hadith of Jabir that he had in a book?